Hey everyone, Kevin here. Let's get right down to today's topic. Please stop calling your employees family. I see this all the time. I mean, I saw it in teaching too, and it always deeply bothers me. Though it is true that we have friends and people who we are close to, heck, sometimes the people we work with can become almost like family to us depending on the situation. But starting out calling your employees family creates the wrong impression as to what your job will actually be like. Family, the word, it comes with an entirely different connotation than the word coworker. That term usually implies a connection where you would do almost anything for them or for one another. For instance, you would probably do far more and drop everything to help when you hear one of your parents is in the hospital and would stay at their bedside or in their waiting area while you waited for news on their condition. You might mow their lawn while they're recovering or get their groceries because they can't do it anymore. That's a family environment. You tend to stay with them through the thick and thin. At work, though, by saying that you're a family from the very beginning makes it seem that you are expected to do these kinds of things and do more than what you actually should as an employee. As teachers, we were constantly gaslighted into thinking that we were family with everyone on campus to encourage us to break our contract and stay for far more hours than we should without pay. It led to a lot of serious exploitation. If we were actually family, I would be treated differently than a coworker because of what that kind of relationship entails. Some aspects of a family culture are great: caring, empathy, respect, etc. But treating employees as family does more harm than good. It is an archaic leadership practice because it harkens back to a time where you stayed with the same company for 40 or 50 years and were immensely loyal to them and their brand. This is why education still operates like this too, because the school system is always operating decades behind the times. But this isn't a thing anymore. Running your company this way is actually going to backfire and lead to a lot of deep animosity. Why? Well, number one, people move around now. Whether there are layoffs or people move to another position with a different company, coworkers leave. By calling them family and then firing them, for instance, you look like a hypocrite. By being angry at them when they find a new opportunity and saying that they are leaving you in a bad position, then you are trying to guilt trip or gaslight them into thinking they should stay. Number two, employers have to evaluate their employees. You don't evaluate family in the same way. Assessing someone with metrics and standards requires a different mentality, and when you criticize someone on a personal or professional level like this, you make your employees resentful because they don't feel like your family environment is all that friendly, familial, or parental. Again, this kind of behavior was extremely common in the public school system, and I freaking hated it. Now, number three, you will develop an unhealthy attitude toward your employees. Treating your employees as family often leads to very childlike behavior where you discipline them like a kid rather than someone who is not following guidelines. Employees these days don't want a parent as a leader who tells them what to do and has to hold their hand through everything. What they want is to be trusted to do their work correctly, empowered to bring their own ideas to bear, and be involved with important decision making processes. And number four, and my most important one of all, employees and coworkers don't want or expect your company to be a family in the first place. Everyone knows that even the most fulfilling and wonderful jobs aren't permanent. And as I said earlier, most don't want them to be. Everyone knows that eventually down the line, you will move around to follow a new passion or career prospect once their dreams and aspirations change and mature. They stay as long as their vision aligns with that position. Once something they want to do comes up, they make a change. That is the difference between a family and a business. If your family member was being treated poorly and was being professionally wronged, would you try to help them and convince them to leave to search for a job where they are better respected? Or continue pushing them to stay at a company that is draining their physical, emotional, and mental health? Even if that company was paying them a ridiculous amount of money, if they aren't respecting their time, yet still calling them family, we just stay? Most of us would do something about it and demand change. We teachers eventually did this by leaving the profession, one in which we were often told that we were family but still treated like indentured servants. Even worse, family environments can lead to cliques forming at your work, people being promoted because they are close to certain other people, and employees ending up in positions where they are absolutely not qualified for. It's problematic. Now, with all that being said, I want to make it clear that I'm not arguing against forming meaningful relationships and hopefully even friendships with your coworkers. I hope you do. I have formed many such connections in my current position and feel more included and valued than I ever have before. And I have never even met any of them in person since I work remotely. When it comes down to it, though, we aren't a collection of job titles and certifications. We are living, breathing human beings with needs and wants of our own. Even the introverts among us, like me, need those kinds of social interactions and friendships. But we still need boundaries at work, or we become too invested, and that can hurt relationships and overall business performance in the long run. I have seen this happen far too many times and have to caution people about it. Calling coworkers family can be immensely toxic given certain situations. We are a team. We work together toward common goals, grow as people, and support each other through the tough times. Market your company like that, not like family. But as always, I am here to help you with whatever you may need. See you next time.